Hello and welcome, one and all, to another exciting, thrilling, amazing, outstanding, oops, I've oversold it a little bit, episode of Pobble Live. Yes, you are right. It has started, and Mrs. Flanagan is joining us once more in the chat to give us, no doubt, a wealth of ideas and experience. Of course, we are doing Pobble Live as usual at 4:45, and it is that time whilst we're awaiting anybody else joining us to look at which jumper and tie combination Mr. Keeling is wearing today. So, as we can see, I am sporting this grey cardigan with a nice zigzaggy orange stripe and little highlights of blue, flecks of grey, and a lapel that runs down, and some nice brown textured buttons. That's the cardigan, and of course the tie this week, obviously in preparation for Pobble, is a cow tie with the cow wearing a cow bell. That's the cardigan and tie combination for this week for our Pobble Live. We've already got 14 viewers, which is great for a start. That is brilliant. Lovely. If you are new here, which some of you may be, could you please put a thumbs up, that's really good for the videos. Could you subscribe if you haven't, because then you will get notifications when new videos go up, especially if you press the bell icon. We're up to 159 subscribers on the channel, which is excellent. Remember, you can visit the back catalogue of videos. I know that Real Crystally, the phonophobe, has revisited some of the older videos because she's popped some comments on there that I've looked back through. So if you do want to revisit old videos, just because they're old doesn't necessarily mean that they're not very good. Surely some of the start, it might be good to go right back to the first video and see how well I presented on that. I'm assuming it was roughly the same. Maybe I've got a little bit better as time has gone on. Oh, a little news flash. It's gone up to 160. We've got 160 subscribers and we've got 15 people with us. That is excellent. Now, I know what you're all wondering. I know that you are all sat on the edge of your seats, all really excited to know what colour is the Pobble star this week. It is, we've got some suggestions here: yellow, brown, blue. Ooh, is it blue? Is it green? I've gone for a very neutral, very stoic grey. A grey star. How bizarre. Rhymes. Also, if you'll notice, this star is slightly off-central. Slightly off-center, a little wobbly, a little diagonal. Interesting. Grey, what a choice. I know, not something I'd usually go for either, but matches the cardigan. Grey cardigan. Okay, we are up to 6 likes. Thank you for that. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Up to 18 viewers. Excellent. Let's see how many more can join us. I'd love to top last week. Last week, I think we got up to 24 viewers at one time. People dipped in and out, and we got 50 viewers in total while the video was live. But 18 to start off with is great. I wonder if we can up it, though. I wonder if we can beat the 24 live viewers from last week. But if you think about it, 18, that's 2/3 of a class. That's a lot of people right here watching after school. So well done to all of you. I wanted to start off by showing you, last week we looked at the griller who played golf, didn't we? And one of the tasks that I said you could complete was to create your own football team. Yeah. And I've had some work come back to me. And I've had this one excellent piece of work from a year 4 child. And I would really love to show it to you because I think it's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm just going to grab that. This is the work. It's the Beast football team. This is a piece of Pobble that's come back from Pobble Live. And it has a 3-4-3 formation, which I think is really nice. They've thought about what formation the team is going to take. But more importantly, what I really do like is the inside. Because here, look, they've actually designed the team. And you might be looking at this thinking, oh, they've printed pictures of the animal. No, they've drawn and coloured these pictures. These are all hand drawn. This is their art. Look at this. Look at those incredible drawings of animals and the position that they play on the pitch. Not just that, but look, they've actually put it on a pitch. They've labelled it with what position these players play. And then on top of that, if you open up, each player has a description about why he's been chosen or why they've been chosen. So look, right here, it tells you about the tiger's strength, and they're a striker because of their predatory instincts. How wonderful is that piece of work? What I really liked was at the bottom here, this goalkeeper, the octopus. What a great idea for a goalkeeper, because it would have all those tentacles to stop the ball from going in. This, a beautiful piece of work, and so lovely to come to class and to show this off. So well done to the child that did that. We, of course, will award a Pobble prize for the best piece of Pobble that's brought to me this week. And there will be a draw for all the people who are in the live chat today. Okay. This week's Pobble Live, then. Let's get going. This is your image. And do you know what? I suspect Pobble Live are starting to use AI images. I think they're starting to use AI art, which is fine. It can certainly create certain things that they might not be able to provide art for. And we have to bear in mind that Pobble does provide lots of wonderful images for us to see. But I was a bit suspicious when I saw the fingers of this koala, because if you look very closely at our koala, we can see that the paws don't quite have all of the claws, and the light is a little bit, it's placed a little randomly, which makes me believe, just careful with the language that we are putting into the chat, please. But it makes me believe that this is a AI generated image. And just be careful about the cartoons that you're mentioning, because whilst they are cartoons, not all of those cartoons are for children. So just be careful about what you're putting into the chat and just make sure it is relating to our topic. Okay. So yeah, I think it's AI generated. I know that a lot of people can have a negative opinion on AI generated images. I think they're fine, but there is that idea that it can take work away from artists, which obviously is not necessarily a good thing. But there are lots of many wonderful things that AI can do, and right here, it's helping us with our education. So I'll allow it. We're going to read our story starter for this week, and as usual, you can, if you want to, just write a story that is part of this. Write a story that's part of this, that follows on from this story. So if that's what you want to do, that is absolutely fine. Just continue the story, finish it off, and then bring it back to me for your chance of winning that Pobble prize. Here we go. In the gaslit streets of Victorian England. I love this opening sentence. I love it. It's an adverbial phrase. It's extra information, and it's taking us to the past, and it's doing so in a lovely way. It's telling us that it is Victorian England, but it's also talking about gaslit streets. Up to 19 viewers. We're getting close to that 24 that we had last time. Let's see if we can get any more viewers online. Gas lit streets. And of course, lights back then were lit by gas lamps. So that's a really nice description, a way of getting in there. How do we enter Pobble Prize? All you need to do is put a comment in here or bring a piece of Pobble into school and you could be entered for a Pobble Prize. Yeah, it does sound like London, or like, you know, Victorian London, the streets lit by those gas fires. Wonderful. Lovely little starting sentence. I really like that. There lived a street magician named Wren. So I'm assuming this koala is named Wren. Dressed in a fine coat and a top hat, he amazed onlookers with, onlookers is a great word for people watching. So instead of audience, onlookers, that's a great word to use, with sparkling tricks and illusions. Some whispered that Wren's magic might just be real, as coins appeared from nowhere and handkerchiefs changed colours. Even the most skeptical watchers, skeptical means that you don't necessarily believe in magic or believe in the paranormal, but even those people that didn't believe in the magic, the most skeptical watchers would gasp as Wren plucked twinkling lights out of the air. Every evening, the cobblestone streets became a stage for Wren's enchanting performances. And then it says, continue the story. And absolutely, you can continue the story. I'm going to give you some other ideas towards the end of this. I'm going to share some language with you towards the end of this that you might want to use. But today's focus is not necessarily around what you're writing. It's going to be a feature of writing. So last week we had a look at a feature of writing, which was adverbials and starters. This week we are going to be looking at something slightly different. So let's have a little look. Sparkly like a firework, getting the similes in already. Like it, like the term suspicious in the chat. It's suspicious, it's odd, it's weird. Here we go. Today's focus is this: embedded relative clauses. Embedded relative clauses. Oh no! It's David the worrying horse. New Pobble character. Maybe there'll be more of those. Uh-oh. Who is David? Absolutely. Yes, this is David the worrying horse. Whoa! That sounds more like a sheep, doesn't it? Let me do a horse impression. There we go. Whoa! Let me change that. That's an error. Breaking the illusion, Mr. Keeling. Whoa! That sounds too complicated. Surely no one will be able to do it. Calm down, Dave the worrying horse. It's not as complicated as it sounds. We'll start with relative pronouns. Here is a list of words that you use to add a relative clause. A relative clause is basically just a very unique subordinate clause. Subordinate clauses are just additions to main clauses. For example, Mr. Keeling ate some cheese. That is a main clause because it has a noun-verb pairing. Mr. Keeling, which is the proper noun, but still a noun. And then it has an action. I'm doing something. Ate. It could stop there. Mr. Keeling ate, full stop. That would be a full sentence. I've added the cheese. But that's not the main subject of the sentence. The main subject of the sentence is me. You can build onto a sentence by adding a conjunction and adding some more information. So, Mr. Keeling ate the cheese that tasted bad, which tasted bad, and it tasted bad. You can add further information to a sentence using conjunctions. And that's all that these words do. Ooh, wrong way. That's hard. Oh dear, look at me. These words up here, that's all they do. They add further extra information to the main clause using the word who, whom, whose, that, and which. And we're going to focus just on 3 of these words today. We're going to focus on who, that, and which. And we're just going to use those words to add extra information to our sentences. Okay. We're going to start with who. But it's not quite as simple. It's not quite as simple as just adding that extra information because of that word embedded. An embedded clause is a clause that actually sits in the middle of a main idea. So, for example, let's take that idea that I just had. Mr. Keeling ate the cheese. Now here I have a sentence. It's a complete sentence, full stop to end it. Mr. Keeling ate the cheese is a complete sentence because it has the proper noun, it has the verb. And again, as I said, it could just be Mr. Keeling ate. That would be a full sentence as well. This has the cheese on it because I'm giving you that little bit of extra information about what I ate. And it's still a full idea with the full stop at the end. Now, I said Mr. Keeling ate the cheese, which tasted nice. That is adding a relative clause. So this sentence has a relative clause. It has the relative pronoun which, and it has additional information, which tasted nice. Now, this clause can't exist on its own. It can't just be which tasted nice, because that doesn't make sense alone. It can't exist as a single idea. It's not a complete idea, not a complete sentence. The rest of it is, this is supplementary information. It's extra information that's been added on. But it's not embedded because an embedded clause sits in the middle of your sentence. So what I need to do is I need to put some information in the middle for it to be embedded. This is where it becomes slightly more complex, although I've seen some examples of people doing this already, which is really nice. And we'll share those ideas very soon. Mr. Keeling ate the cheese. I can't refer to the cheese to add my extra information because if I do, it will come after and at the end of the sentence. So really, there's only one noun or one proper noun in the sentence that I could talk about and embed the idea in the middle. And that is the proper noun here, Mr. Keeling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just here after Mr. Keeling, give a bit more information about Mr. Keeling related to the fact that he's eating this cheese using a relative pronoun. Mr. Keeling, and I'm going to take the word who because I'm referring to a person. Mr. Keeling, who something ate the cheese. Now, it could be unrelated to the cheese. It could be Mr. Keeling, who is very tall, ate the cheese. Mr. Keeling, who is very kind, ate the cheese. It could, of course, be related to the fact that I ate the cheese. Mr. Keeling, who was very hungry, ate the cheese. Okay. I'm going to open this up to the people watching along. In a sentence, could you fill in the blank? Mr. Keeling, who was something, ate the cheese. Remember, I'm right here, so no insults, please. You've got a minute to get it into the chat. Mr. Keeling, who something, ate the cheese. What? Mr. Keeling quietly thought he ate the cheese. Doesn't work because you haven't used the relative pronoun. So it is not a embedded relative clause. Mr. Keeling, comma, who, something, 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 ate the cheese. Tell me something about Mr. Keeling that would fit in this bit here. Mr. Keeling, who was very gentle, ate the cheese. Love it. Just don't forget to put those commas around the relative embedded clause, because it's also parenthesis at this point, because you could use brackets, you could use dashes, or you could use the two commas. Mr. Keeling, who was very hungry, ate the cheese. Mr. Keeling, who enjoyed cheese a lot, ate the cheese. Absolutely, that works, but remember, try not to repeat the noun. Mr. Keeling, who has unique ties, ate the cheese. Perfect and works. Very, very nice. That is the idea. You are using these words to add extra information. So we're going to do that and we're going to apply it. We're going to apply it to our image. So we have the magician, the koala, the magical koala, and we are going to try and create a sentence about him. So this is the sentence that I've built. The koala magician, who had a sturdy and shiny hat, amazed his fans with bizarre magic tricks. Okay, we're going to start with the actual person, yeah? So we're going to take the koala. We're going to start with the. We'll keep it simple because our focus really isn't sentence openers this time. It's about that embedded clause. So we'll focus on that. But let's have some descriptive terms for this magician koala. So what words might we give to a magician? What words could we give to a magician or a magician koala or a magical koala? Magical might be one, the magical koala. What words could we get before that word? Adjectives to describe the noun koala, because adjectives describe nouns. Pop them into the chat. What words have we got? Talented, love it. What else could we have? I'm going to choose my favorite ones. Intelligent, love it. What else have we got? If you want to use any of these words, make sure you have a book you're writing along, note them down as we go. Skilled, sophisticated, love it. What else have we got? Talented, intelligent, skilled, sophisticated. Insufficient, yeah, maybe they're not good enough, or sufficient, yeah. What else have we got? Please don't put names into the chat. Thank you. Magnificent, absolutely. What else could we have? Fascinating, clever, absolutely. Sensational, gifted, absolutely. Keep them coming. Enchanted or enchanting, maybe he has his enchanting personality. The masterly, I'm not quite that sure that works. Mischievous, maybe. I'm going to go for, I'm going to choose two. I'm going to go for skilled and intelligent. The skilled, intelligent, and we'll stick to that. The skilled and I haven't left myself enough room. Let's give myself a little bit more room. The skilled and intelligent koala did what? Let's finish the main idea. Let's finish the main. Oh, that's not very clear. Sorry. The skilled, let me just make that bigger and clearer. The skilled and intelligent koala the skilled and intelligent koala would do what? Now it needs an action. We haven't got an action in this sentence, so it can't be a full sentence. It can't be a full sentence. So let's finish off our idea. It needs a verb. The koala needs to do something. What could the koala do? The skilled and the intelligent koala. Think about the image. Just keep it simple. The skilled and intelligent koala pulled off an amazing magic trick. Do you know what? That's perfect. I'm just going to take it straight away. Pulled off an amazing magic trick. Lovely. The skilled and intelligent koala pulled off an amazing magic trick. Well done for using an instead of a, because it has that vowel opening sound. Okay, now we're going to add an embedded relative clause. Oh, I like that. The talented and gifted koala pulled off a wholesome and mind-blowing trick. That's great. Okay, and you can have your own words, you can have your own descriptions, and this would fit into your story absolutely fine. You'll notice that I've left a space, though. That's because I want to do what we're doing today, which is to embed a relative clause. Now, we could use which because it's a koala, but I'm going to use who, okay? So I'm going to put who here, and I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to put the word who. And I'm going to know that it ends with a comma at the end because I'm embedding a relative clause. So I would like an additional piece of information about this koala, and then we'll have built a really good complex sentence. Complex sentence, of course, not a compound sentence. A complex sentence is a sentence with additional subordinating information, whereas a compound sentence is made up of more than one complete sentence. This is not more than one complete sentence, so it is a complex sentence, not a compound sentence. Wow, this is a very technical lesson. Well done for all this technical language, Mr. Keeling. Thank you, Mr. Keeling. Nice of you to say so. So, what could I have? The skilled and intelligent koala who amazed his audience, who mesmerized his audience, pulled off an amazing trick. That would work. Who, and that's using that word mesmerized from before. Mesmerized his audience, comma, pulled off an amazing magic trick. That is a wonderful complex sentence, and in it, right in the middle of it, it has a relative embedded clause. Okay, challenge then. I started this off. The skilled and intelligent koala. You start yours off, 2 different adjectives. Relative clause in the middle, who, give me extra information, and then finish off the sentence. Can you create a whole sentence about this koala with an embedded relative clause? You can use my frame, so you could say the skilled and talented, intelligent koala who was wearing a fancy suit pulled off an amazing magic trick. So you could use the end, you could use the start and just come up with your own embedded clause. Or if you're really, really super-duper brave and you really want to be resilient and you really want to try really, really hard, I've said really a lot there, why not make up a complete idea yourself? So start with describing the koala, put in a relative clause, and then finish off with the verb. Can you do that? Let's have a look at what we've got so far. The skilled and intelligent koala, so that's my starter, who is an experienced magician, pulled off an amazing trick. That works perfectly. You've got the starter, you've got the embedded relative clause because you've used who, and you have added subordination with extra information in the middle, and then you've just finished off your idea with an action. So the main idea there, the skilled and intelligent koala pulled off an amazing trick with the embedded clause in the middle. Is there any others that we can come up with? Mr. Keeling, is there a reason why Pobble is different to picture on the newsletter? Yes, there is a reason. That's because Pobble 365 actually has different pictures every day. And what I want to do is I want to give Pobble prizes out to people that have done additional Pobble work on Pobble Live. I know if you've done the Pobble Live work because you will do it about something different to the one that's on the newsletter. That's why. The spellbinding and enchanting koala performed amazing tricks. That is wonderful description there. Now can you embed? The magnificent and fascinating koala, who always completed his tricks flawlessly, pulled off an amazing magic trick. I would just switch the noun so I wouldn't say trick or trick again. The audience was flabbergasted, and I love that you've put a semicolon there and added more information related to it. The clever, talented koala, who wore a very nice top hat, mesmerized his audience by pulling a parachute out of his hat. That is a fantastic sentence. Very, very funny. The skilled and intelligent koala, who is a sensational magician, showed off his fantastic magic trick, which made, and we've added a relative clause to the end as well, really complex here, which made the crowd say, wow, in an amazed chant or chatter or voice. So amazing. Some really good ideas coming through. The skilled and experienced koala pulled off spellbinding tricks while amazing his audience. Now, you've added extra information, but that is not a relative clause and it is not embedded, so just be careful that we're following the brief. But that is a way of adding a who embedded relative clause. Let's have a look at our next slide. Now let's try which, and we're going to embed which again. So this one is going to be an embedded, and then we're going to take a look at just putting that extra information onto the end of the sentence, which may be the easier way of doing it. So here I have a picture of tools that a magician might use. We have a wand, we have a hat, and we have a rabbit. I'm going to try using which in a sentence about the rabbit. The magicians and I'm using plural apostrophe here because it belongs to the magician. The magician's white rabbit lived in his hat, comma, the magician's white rabbit, which was rather cute, comma, lived in his hat. You might want to specify here again that it is the magician, lived in the magician's, and it's a good way of getting that plural apostrophe again, in the magician's. And I know I'm repeating here, but I'm doing it to get in that apostrophe feature and to clarify, because I've talked about two nouns. Lived in the magician's, look, apostrophe S, because it belongs to him, hat. So this is an example of getting which into that sentence. The magician's white rabbit, which was rather cute, lived in the magician's hat. I could maybe make it a little bit more funny than that. The magician's white rabbit, who was always late for work and would never do the tricks properly, was rather annoying. So I can make this character, with that extra information, have a lot of personality. I'm already getting some clauses in the chat that use this feature. So let's have a look. The magicians, you forgot the plural apostrophe. It's not plural, sorry, the possessive apostrophe, it's not plural. The magician's white rabbit, which was white as snow, I would probably take white out of the first bit so you don't repeat that word white as a description, but still a lovely idea. The magician's rabbit, which was white as snow, lived in the magician's sparkling hat. All right, you try it. Tell me something about the magician's white rabbit or rabbit living in the magician's hat, and try and add a which in the middle. Really, your which could relate to any extra piece of information. It could be relevant to living in the hat. The magician's rabbit, which was rather cramped, lived in the magician's hat. Or it could be completely random. The magician's white rabbit, which enjoyed eating marmalade sandwiches, lived in the magician's hat. The magic white rabbit, who, so this we're giving a bit more personality because who would work as well, who was as white as a blanket of snow, a metaphor within a simile, wow, made his audience flabbergasted. or shocked his audience and left them flabbergasted. The white rabbit, which was rather plump like that, lived in the magician's hat. The magician's white rabbit was living in his hat like he was taking a summer holiday. Again, doesn't fit in with what we're doing, but still not too bad as a descriptive idea. Like taking a summer holiday, gets that simile in there. The magician's white rabbit, which was very cute, was as aggressive as a grumpy bear. Ah, that is nice, isn't it? Yeah. Look at that comparison. It's cute. It's actually quite mean. The magician's hat was crumpled, which made the rabbit rather annoyed. You've used a relative clause there, but it is not embedded. Wonderful. Some lovely ideas. Please, if you're watching along later, take some of those ideas, maybe use this frame as your own, or come up with something else. You could do it about the other two objects as well. I wonder if the chat can come up with a sentence that has an embedded relative clause for the magician's hat or for the magician's wand. For example, the magician's wand, which was very powerful, was stored away safely behind a locked door. So that's related, isn't it? Because it's powerful, it needs to be locked away. What about the hat? The magician's hat, which was tall and black, contained a white rabbit. That, again, has the witch in the middle. Not that kind of witch. That witch, W-I-T-C-H, the witch I'm talking about, W-H-I-C-H. I lost my train of thought. But basically, can you come up with your own sentence about these items? The magician's fluffy white rabbit, which would rather annoyed the magician, completed maybe an amazing trick. Don't forget it's and because of the vowel sounding words. The magician's rabbit was annoyed like a medium rare steak delivered to the table. You might be annoyed about that, but again, it hasn't got that witch in the middle. The magician's white rabbit, who was particularly fond of carrots, lived in the magician's hat, like that one. The white rabbit, who was an undercover spy called Mrs. Bastable, had control of the legendary magician's wand. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? The extra information that we can add, and it completely changes the sentence. Please do not put your name into the chat. If you want to be entered into the draw, you just need to make a comment. The rabbit, which had soft white fur, lived in the magician's hat. The magician's white rabbit, which was very obedient, was very aggressive under its devious facade or delicate facade, because you would say that its facade is the beauty, isn't it? It's the innocence, but really it's quite mean underneath. Lovely. All right, last one then is the word that. And this one we're not going to try to embed. This one, we are just going to end our ideas with the word that. And I wonder if you can complete some of my ideas for me that I've written on the board. See if you can end these sentences to add a relative clause that is not embedded. Here we go. Let's have a look at them. So my sentence, the wizard produced stunning rainbows that, what did they do? Now that's a full idea. The wizard produced stunning rainbows, full stop, that's fine. But then I'm adding that, so the rainbows do something, yeah? So what could they do? Finish that idea. He had a magic wand that could what? I'm adding that word that to add the relative clause to the end. Roddy was plagued. Oh, that should have a D on the end. Excuse me, mistake. Was plagued. So that means kind of annoyed or bothered. Roddy was plagued by an annoying rabbit that would do what? Choose a sentence and finish it off, and let's share some ideas. Let me try. The wizard produced stunning rainbows that dazzled their audience. He had a magic wand that could produce constant cake. Lovely. And Roddy was plagued by an annoying rabbit that would always steal his shoes. Random, but works. What have you got? Let's have a look. He had a magic wand that would make anything come to life. Love it. Make sure you write the full idea. He had a magic wand that could make anything come to life. What else do we've got? He had a wand which was like an enchanted dream. That was like an enchanted dream. But why? Can we be specific? What can it do? Let's get some of these endings to sentences. Try and write it with the full idea in the chat. I like that one so far. the magician's rabbit. No, it's not the magician's. Where was it? I lost it. He had a magic wand that could make anything come to life. That was really nice. What else have we got? Pop it into the chat if you've got an idea to finish these off. If not, I'll just go through another idea. The wizard produced stunning rainbows that contained every color imaginable. He had a magic wand that could make people levitate. Roddy was plagued by an annoying rabbit that would constantly eat his bananas. The wizard produced stunning rainbows that could make a person smile bigger than the rainbow itself. That's wonderful. I like that idea. Interesting comparison of smiles and rainbows there. The wizard produced stunning rainbows that were, make sure it's were because it's more than one, was is a singular verb, that were as vibrant as a light bulb. Yeah, the magic wizard who could do any kinds of tricks stunned the whole audience in shock. Okay, going back to the relative clauses being embedded, but that is fine. Some nice ideas there. And if you're watching along after, why not use my sentence stems, the start of my sentences, to create your own. The wizard was zooming from the wicked castle, and he met the whiz. Okay, that doesn't quite follow what we've got up here. Rosie was plagued by the annoying rabbit that would make sure that the rabbit actually does an action at the end. Otherwise, it won't finish the sentence. It needs that action in there. The wand, which was like a sunset, was like a burger fillings. Not sure that works either because we're starting with this opening and we're concluding that. Let me give you one more example and then we'll look at what we can do. The magic wizard produced stunning rainbows that can make your heart's desires come true. That's a lovely, lovely answer. The wizard produced stunning rainbows that reminded you of your dreams. He had a magic wand that could do anything, could transport you anywhere at any time. Roddy was plagued by an annoying rabbit that would constantly ruin the show. Okay, we're going to have a look now at what you could do at home. Try, if you can, within your work to get these embedded relative clauses. But let's share some ideas now of how we could do it. So, little challenge. I've put this up. You might want to just do this as your challenge for your writing this week. But here are some sentence starters. As the evening mist rolled in, with a flick of the wrist, Wren's top hat seemed to hide. The crowd would cheer when, sometimes long after the show, and see if you can create an idea that has a embedded clause in there. And if you can make it a relative embedded clause, that would be even better. Some ideas for what you could do this week. There we go. I skipped past it. That's why. Here's what you could do this week. Why not create your own magic spell? That would be really cool because you could decorate it. You could make it like a poem. It could rhyme. And then you could do an explanation of what this magic spell would do. And that's where you could get in your relative clauses. You could design a costume for a magician. And then you could describe the elements and the materials all around what the magician would be wearing. Maybe you can actually film and put on your own magic show. It would be great to see some of that and learn and research some of your own magic tricks. You could research magic tricks and gather some ideas for show and tell. I would be really happy if some people came in and did a show and tell around magic. That would be really interesting. Describe an interesting show presented by a koala. So maybe you just do a review of the magician show that you have watched. Create a realm of magic. We've talked about this idea of magicians and magic. Why not create a whole world where this koala could exist? Or maybe you design your own magical item. My favorite this week, I would say, probably would be for you to be able to create your own magic show by researching your own magic tricks and then writing a guide as to how you could complete that trick. Couldn't you go back to the sentence, Mr. Keeling? What you can do is when this video finishes, which will be very shortly, you can go back to when I held them up and just pause the video, because this video, after it's live, stays on the channel and you can rewatch it not live. So last thing, some language you might want to use in your work this week. Amazed, sparkling, whispered, real, appeared, skeptical, gasped, twinkling, enchanting, stage performance, and spectacle. Thank you so much for joining us today on Pobble Live. I hope this has given you some ideas of work that you can complete. I cannot wait to see what you bring in. Love it if you could put on a show and tell magic show. That would be really good. Don't forget, tomorrow for World Book Day, you are coming up with your own rap for a chance to enter our MC grammar competition. So if you want to do a rap to bring in for show and tell, we might film some of the best ones to go into the competition. So you might want to use a rap about the magical koala as part of your Pobble if you want to do that too. It is to create a rap based around your favorite book or story. So if you want to do that in your Pobble book, you are welcome to, as well as the task this week. I hope you have a really good World Book Day tomorrow. I can't wait to see what costumes you come in. We'll be coming in costumes of our own, and I cannot wait for Friday to announce our Pobble winners. Well done so much. Well done for joining in. Well done for all the work that you do. And well done for keeping on pobbling. I will see you next time when we will have a Science Week poster pobble. I'll see you then. Take care.